even with the best laid plans. And you know what they say about the best laid plans, right? I'm back. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken, and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. So where do I even begin? Man, what an amazing trip. I am so thankful for the Mounjaro. I can't even put it into words, honestly, how thankful I am for Mounjaro. But this trip was fantastic. It was great to get to see parts of this country again that I haven't seen in years. The best part to me is always the people. The friends that I got to see that I haven't seen in years. New people that I met. New friends that I finally got to see and hang out with. And just being at the ballpark. That is definitely my happy place. I love being at games and just taking it all in. So if you watch my video about preparing for this trip, I thought I was ready to go, you know? Then I hit the road and realized I forgot a couple things at the house. I had to come back. But when I finally hit the road, first night was in St. Louis, but I realized something in a hurry when I got to my hotel room, and that is there was no microwave. The website said that there would be. But there wasn't. So this kind of sent me into a panic. Luckily that day I didn't worry about it because I knew it was going to be one of the few nights that I planned to splurge a little bit. So I went to this vegan pizza place in town and got me a couple slices of vegan pizza. Now again, not the healthiest, but for me it was something I wanted to try, and so I knew that I would allow myself to do it, and I did. And for the record, oh my God, absolutely amazing. The next morning I was up, got to hit a few places along the way to Louisville. Went to a game that night with a friend of mine named Scott. Haven't seen him since 2017, so that was great. But the next morning I hit the road, headed up to Detroit, and got to hang out with some dear friends of mine, the Reardons. Haven't seen them since the last time I was up there back in 2012. So to get to just hang out, and then Lisa and I caught a game at Comerica Park the next day, was fantastic. That weekend I was in Cleveland. Oh my goodness, Cleveland. We froze in Cleveland. Opening day for Cleveland was that Friday we were in town. It was an afternoon game, and the wind chills were dipping below 32 degrees. I guess that's nothing big for Cleveland. I guess I should be happy that we weren't getting snowed on. But for me, it was cold. I actually wore a hoodie to a game. I don't ever do that. I had sweats on. I was layered. That's just so unlike me. But that Sunday was a great day. The sun came out. We actually got sunburned a little bit. But it was a lot of fun in Cleveland. I spent the next 3 days in Chicago. Saw my Mariners at Wrigley Field. That was fantastic. Had a friend join me all the way from back home, just outside Seattle. So that was a lot of fun getting to hang out with him for the first time in a couple years since we moved. When I left Chicago, I went to the Field of Dreams. I absolutely love going to this place. There's something so magical about the Field of Dreams. If you've never been there, especially if you're a fan of the movie, you should go check it out if you can. It's in Dyersville, Iowa, and it's simply magical. But just as I was leaving there, I got a message from somebody just up the road, wanting to know if I had time to meet, and of course I did. So I got to meet the one, the only Dave Knapp, the man on the Mounjaro. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to his channel, check it out. I'll put a link down below. I'm sure most of you are, but he is amazing. We sat and talked for what was only supposed to be about a half an hour. I actually redid my schedule, and we ended up being there for about 2.5 hours, or maybe a little over that. But I didn't want to go. Just sitting there talking with him, it was as if we'd been friends for 20 years or more. It was such a great time. So, Dave, thank you very much for the conversation. And I promise you, it is something I will never forget. At that point, I only had 2 more games left. One in Des Moines that night, so I got down there for it. And the next day in Kansas City before I was home on April 15th. It didn't take me long before I was ready to go again. So that weekend I jumped in the car and headed down to Arlington for a couple more games. And I love going to games. It's so much fun. That's what you call a quick recap of my trip. Man, I could go on for hours upon hours upon hours talking about that trip. It was so much fun. And the fact that I was able to do stuff way more than I've ever done was just fantastic. If you haven't watched my shorts that I put up during the trip, check those out if you would. It really gives you a taste of what I was doing on those days. So check them out. All right, so what do the numbers say? Well, this is usually when I put up the two screens, right here showing my numbers, but you know what? I haven't tracked worth a doggone since I left. Matter of fact, I decided to do this trip not tracking at all. Now, with that said, my brain is always constantly working, so there were times where I'm calculating, okay, this protein bar is this many calories and this many protein, this much sodium, and this shake is this much. So I knew that I was doing okay. But like I mentioned, most hotels didn't end up having microwaves. On the entire trip, I had 2 that did. And wouldn't you know it, one of them was the 2 nights that I was in Detroit. So one night I went out to dinner with my friends there. And the second night when I got back to the hotel from the game, I did utilize it then and had me some beans, which I doctored up just like I would as if I was home. As you saw in that video, I brought it all with me. So not tracking felt kind of weird to me, honestly. It felt like there was a part of me that was missing because I'm so used to doing that. I still logged in to MyFitnessPal every day just to look at stuff, but I didn't enter anything in. At least I don't believe I did. I may have put a protein shake here or there along the way, but I don't think I really did. And I did that kind of on purpose. I wanted to see how I could do on a trip like this without counting every single thing. The biggest thing that I took away from it is that, like I mentioned, it felt weird. It felt strange not to be doing that, not to be staying on top of things, and to have to wonder, am I getting what I need to be getting? Since I'm on the road and I don't have the microwaves like I assumed I would, am I having too much? So these became concerns of mine, but I kept going. I wanted to make sure that I didn't track on the entire trip, and that's what I did. So what did that do for me on the scale then? Yeah, I was concerned about this one. When I was talking with Dave in Iowa, I gave him a number that I felt like I would probably be up when I got home. It was a little higher than the number that I had originally felt that I would probably go up. Now again, wasn't concerned about it too much because I knew it would be fluid. I knew that there was no way to avoid excess sodium, even with the best laid plans. And you know what they say about the best laid plans, right? But talking to Dave, I told him how going out to eat with friends and stuff along the way, I tried my best to make smart decisions. So like with him that day for lunch, I had fish tacos. I knew that I would get a decent amount of protein from the fish, but there would be sodium in it. I didn't have a whole lot of the salsa that came with it or the chips, to be honest, but I had a few. It also came with the salad, and I ate it by dipping my salad greens into it. So I probably ate maybe 2/3 of that little cup of salad dressing. So I felt pretty good about that. The worst times for me was when I was with a friend in Chicago, and it just went a little overboard. Overboard having a little too much beer. It's something I haven't done in a long time. And you can't go to Chicago and not have some old style. And I almost drank my weight in it. So I knew that would be an issue. But again, once I got home, I felt it would come off fairly quickly. So after I got home, I didn't weigh until Monday morning, and that was kind of my plan. And when I did it, it showed me up 12 pounds. Again, I knew it was fluid. And to be truthful with you, my guess would be that come Friday, I would be up 20. I felt it would be that bad, that much fluid. And when I was talking to Dave in Iowa, I told him, I believe, Dave, you can correct me down below if I'm wrong here, but I believe I told Dave it was going to be at least 25 pounds. So to be up only 12, that's a victory in my books. So the next few days I did what I normally do. I got right back on program, did great. So when it came to my official weight, I did ask y'all what you thought I would do. Here are those results over here. So how'd I do? Well, the scale told me that I was 421 pounds, which means I went down 1 pound over that time. Yeah, and I'm quite happy with that. I mean, honestly, I know that's nowhere near what I'm used to losing. But to be down 1 pound after everything on that trip, between not having all the microwaves like I thought I would, going a little bit overboard on drinking a little too much beer at times, to having to eat out way more often than I'd planned. And again, like I said, I tried to make smart decisions. Some of the things I did is I had Subway, had Jimmy John's. I am proud to say that none of that included Taco Bell, so I am still Taco Bell free since the last week of August. So yeah, being down 1 pound, I'm not gonna really throw a fit about that. I'm quite happy, honestly. Sure, I would like more, but considering I thought I was going to be up quite a ways come Friday on the official weigh-in, 1 pound is awesome to me, and I'll take it. I know some of y'all thought I would be down more than that, and I'm sorry. But to do a trip like I just did under the circumstances that I did, I'm quite happy. So some non-scale victories that I had on the trip. There were several really, but the main ones I want to focus on are involving steps. That first day in Cleveland, I set my single day steps record. I know, again, it's nothing compared to y'all, but for me, it was amazing to be able to see an 8 in front of the total number of steps I had that day. So yeah, to see an 8 in front of it and come in at 8,275 was spectacular to me. Another thing I did that really excited me was in Chicago. I decided to go down to Millennium Park for the first time ever and look around there. I wanted to go see that, what do they call it? The Cloud Gate or the Bean, right? Never done it. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And speaking of beautiful weather, after freezing in Cleveland, we had 80 degrees plus in Chicago in early April. I was wearing shorts to games at Wrigley. Man, I don't know how to handle that, but it was fantastic. So that second day, on Tuesday, I decided to go down to Millennium Park and look around. And when I did, I was confronted with some stairs. As you could see, that's me pointing at them there. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go up them or not, but I did. I ended up walking up those stairs, and the fact that I was able to do that is a testament to how amazing Mounjaro is. I couldn't have done it without it. That's for sure. And now I know that I don't have to be afraid of stairs, and that I can do it even if it takes me a little bit of time. Overall, to me, the biggest non-scale victory I had on my trip was just that I did the trip. It was 11 games in 12 days. That does not include the 2 extra that I added on down in Texas. Just the main portion of the trip. You know, I talked about it in my video just before I left, the last time that I did a trip. I spent a lot of time in the hotel rooms with my feet up, popping Advil and Tylenol like they were Tic Tacs because I hurt so bad. I just couldn't do it. And I really felt at that point that this was my last big trip that I'd ever be able to do, because my life was headed down a dark path as my weight kept going up, even though I was trying to lose weight. Some of those videos are right here on my page, and I had lost probably 50 pounds by then. But it was honestly starting to come back on as I made that trip, and tried to be positive, but it was getting ugly, and yeah, I'm just, man. Yeah. Just thankful for Mounjaro and for my wife for allowing me to not only do trips like this, but to make sure that I've got that shot so I can do stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to have to close right there before I start crying. There's so much more I've wanted to talk about. I don't know what I'm leaving out. If I didn't give you a shout out and somebody I talked to on the trip, I am so sorry. But I'm a bit of an emotional wreck, and it's not just because of this video. I have my first surgery tomorrow. So carpal tunnel, ulnar nerve surgery. Put a gash right here. Honestly, by the time you're watching this video, I should be probably out of it, because I think I'm going to release this on Friday. If I release it before, then it's tomorrow. I'm quite freaked out about it, honestly. So, you know, it's just the what if. So, yeah. So, hey, I'm sorry to end this on such a downer, but I do appreciate you coming by, checking out my channel. I know I've missed things, and I apologize, but once I get my surgeries done and I can get back to thinking straight and get back to feeling better, then I'll get back to doing videos more regularly. So, hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.